All right, welcome back to another episode. Today's episode, we're going to be talking more about politics, but instead, we're going to be talking about a trend, and it's kind of a dangerous trend, and you can see it in Western countries, right? You can see it all across the world, but specifically in first world Western countries like the United States, Canada, Australia, UK, New Zealand, and so forth. And what am I talking about? It's this massive political voter trend. It's this massive gap that we saw in the 2024 US presidential election, for example, in the Australian election, in the Canadian election, and of course, the UK election. And what is it? Well, it's this. It's the fact that young men are becoming more conservative and young women are becoming far more liberal. And it's not just a little bit. Some people think that it's most people are moderate. You know, they might be center left, or they might be center, or they might be center right. But that's just not the case. What we're seeing is a huge gap in voter identity, in voter politics, in what issues people care about. I mean, we're going to pull up some of these lists later. It's crazy what young women care about compared to young men. It's absolutely insane. But joining me is Yusuf, my good friend from Canada. He's been studying these trends and everything. He's a business owner, he's a retailer, and he's been on X with some of the biggest people. Shout out to Myron Afal, shout out to Myron Gaines, shout out to Zerka, shout out to Suleiman. They keep these discussions going, and it's incredibly important that they do. But today we're specifically here to talk about that trend, Yusuf, of how young men are becoming more conservative and young women are becoming far more liberal. Now, I want you to tell me, because you're older than I am and you've been studying this longer than me. When did this trend exactly start? What decade, what year, and who was kind of responsible for it?
It started after the election of Barack Obama. So the second term. So the second term, early
And when was that?
2012,
2012, right. Okay.
2012. So that's when social media blew up. Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Facebook Messenger, Twitter. So all these apps started like going crazy across the world. And
Right.
it just hit women like crack. It became the new crack for women. And it literally just like Rollo Tomassi says it perfectly. Attention is a woman's currency. So
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
people now messaging worldwide to women. It has
It's
become
way
like
different. It's way
it's
different.
very different.
But
It's very different. Like
what was about Obama that you were talking about? Like, just to get back to that point. Like,
he
can
was able to he had lobbyists from Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, which is like Facebook that owns Snapchat,
right.
Instagram and everything. They were able to lobby to have protections and to allow them to expand into the world, like to the world's data. Because right now, like your metadata is the most important thing.
Yeah.
This device that you have has
Yeah.
control over like your life. You can bank, you can do everything, shop, you name it. And that's what's happening now.
So these tech lobbyists, what was their purpose? What were they trying to lobby for? I mean, to bring it back to the
Control
political issue, what was their objective? Did they want people to
data.
become more liberal, and why would that be the case?
Because once they become more liberal, you control their destiny. You control their viewing because now these tech people can look at your viewing patterns, your shopping patterns. They built algorithms to see what you like and dislike. So they're able to control your entire viewing. If you open on Google and Facebook and YouTube, you can see what you like and what are your preferences.
Yeah.
Back then, like they started creating like the ultimate system of control, just neuter women and neuter the men onto like these platforms.
It was
And
new to
it affected
everybody.
the
Yeah.
women
They
more.
didn't know how to
It
react.
affect, yeah, and women got affected the hardest because women now are more suicidal. They're more socially driven on these apps. Like every day you open an app, you see like nonsense from TikTok to Instagram to Snapchat. You just see
People,
you're being bombarded with like degeneracy. And,
people that look better than you, so on and so forth. People that, they're taller than you or stronger than you, whatever. It's just constant comparison, right?
yes, and women are affected the most because with men it's like, yeah, I can, go to the gym, do this, improve. But women will buy the next, you know, hit product,
Yeah.
makeup, pills. AI now is like, gonna make these women go crazier because now you can just change everything into it.
They're far more
But
impressionable than us. for sure.
Correct.
That's not even debatable. Like that's not even that's not a feminist talking point. That's not a conservative talking point. They are far more impressionable than us. And the Obama era kind of proved that because Obama was supposed to be that president for black people, right? He was supposed to be that president for the
Obama card.
minority groups, for the ethnic groups. But in turn, he did the exact opposite. Not only was he not that president that people thought that he was going to be, but he turned on his own community, his so-called black community. He started
Yeah.
all sorts of riots and political violence. He was notoriously known for dropping a drone strike or commanding a drone strike every 20 minutes for 8 years across the
Oh
Middle
yeah,
East.
he had a kill list. He had a kill list. Like once he went to a judge, which is close to the Democrats, they allowed sanction hits on American citizens, no due process, no nothing. So when you hear people talking about now, oh, there's no due process on drug dealers, I'm like, yo, Obama did that. Like he made from two wars in Afghanistan and Iraq to Libya to fucking Ukraine to Somalia to Pakistan to Syria, Lebanon,
And that's the
Gaza.
part, right? And that's the part that people miss is that they were trying to deliberately denigrate the legal system. They were deliberately trying to end all sorts of justice. They were trying to appease to the public's interest instead of listening to what's actually right. Because the left really doesn't have any sense of objective morality. As you know, the left is not really that religious. Liberals are far more likely to be atheists or something like this. They're far more likely to believe in moral relativism, relativism, which is I think it's a bunch of BS. Obviously, moral relativism doesn't work at all. But that's not even the biggest issue. The biggest issue is that Obama started this sort of rampage in the early 2010s where he started all these trends and he made it, much to his credit, he is a good politician. You can't deny that. He made those trends look cool. He made, being liberal, being trans, being gay, the sort of new cool. It's the new era, it's the trend now. People are, naturally gay or something like this. Uh, and he continued that, and that went on to his second term. And then, of course, Trump came in and tried to wrestle him, and Hillary Clinton as well. But back to the political argument, I am sure, and I want to get your opinion on this. Obama definitely not only split the country, but he definitely made people way more radical. And the tech lobbyists that you were talking about, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple, etc., they were trying to radicalize the public because they realized the more that they could divide and the more they could push the liberals to the left and the Republicans to the right, they could control that 80% in the middle, And that was the ultimate goal. Like what do you think of that? Is that what the tech lobbyists were trying to do there?
Yes, of course. Like you had tech lobbyists getting hired from democratic firms, universities,
Like what? Could you
Obama
give me a few examples?
institutes. So you look at Obama's new buddies, like the podcasting bros. They were working for like lobbyist groups before they left government.
Who,
So
who is
the
that? Are you talking about Tommy Vieira?
yeah, those people are very close with like the tech lobbying groups. They're
Right.
multimillionaires now. Like they're worth over 10 million. They're like now they're acting like, socialist warriors doing this and that, speaking about, human rights and shit. But like at the end of the day, might makes right. Whoever has the biggest sword, strongest army, controls the world. And
And they had that. They
Obama
took
and
control.
had that. Yeah, and nobody knows like Obama made deals with these companies. So Amazon Web Services, that company has control over all your innovations. Anything that you market on their platforms, cloud software, any kind of computing, they own the domain and the
Right.
IP. So that's what's happening in the US government now. The US government, like it's been a project for the last 20 years. They want to make it into a technocratic government, meaning that
Yeah, and
everything's
and
controlled through
tying it
data
back
centers.
to political radicalization, tying
Yeah,
that back, how did those technocrats radicalize the public? Because we're seeing now the most radical of the radicals, How did they
I mean,
radicalize?
anyone can get on Facebook and on these
Yeah.
apps, YouTube, and just talk politics. That's what they allowed. They allowed. like a gladiator, like a digital gladiator stadium, left versus right, extremist, Marxist, whatever,
No
and they just let
limits.
them go crazy. Like no limits, because at the end of the day, you're just, they call themselves the digital square
And I
foot
love how they
platform.
and I love how they try to brand it, by the way. Like, guys, this is Facebook, this is Instagram, this is where you can, look at what your friends are doing, or this is where you
Yeah,
can look at what your parents are doing, or look at what people from the other side of the world are doing. This is where you can keep up to news and so on and so forth. Of course, that's not what happened, right? Facebook was not only a place where people wanted to, figure out what their friends were doing on a Saturday night or where to hang out next weekend. That's not what it turned into. It was weaponized, and it was weaponized to create tribes. And in my opinion, tribal politics is closest to the dangerous type of politics. I would say it is the most dangerous type of politics there is.
too dangerous.
Next to identity politics. And just to add in a little point here, I believe that what they were trying to do is because of how many technocrats and how many tech lobbyists like Peter Thiel and Palantir there were, even back then, they weren't famous, but they're famous now all of a sudden. They're all of a sudden Trump's best friend or something like that, which we know is bullshit. But just to tie it back in with the political radicalization, what it did was create tribes. And what I believe, Yusuf, is that those platforms, they had different types of groups and they split everyone in different demographics, right? You had the feminists and you had the Muslims and you had the Christians and the Jews and everyone else. And they would send they would have sent affirming messages, right, to each of the one of those groups, radicalizing that group even more and more and more and creating basically tribe pockets. So imagine you have like the square and you have a bunch of circles in the square and the square represents all of social media. These little circle pockets are the tribes, right? You've basically created a cult-like following on social media, where there are groups that are extremely radical in every sense, politically, religiously, racially, and they basically told everybody a different message, but the underlying tone was the same, which is, hey, we believe in everything you say. You should even go further. They would tell the feminists that, hey, what you're doing is great. Abortion's great. This stuff is great. Don't have any kids. Be a career babe. Be a boss bitch and stuff like that. And then they would tell the young men, hey, you know what? Masculinity is garbage or something like that. Or in some cases, they would tell them that masculinity is good and that they should be even more radical. They should be even more misogynistic or they should be more misandrous and stuff like that. And so basically, they pushed people apart. They would affirm that message. They would be like, hey, here's your group, here's your clan, here's your tribe. Go join it. Don't cooperate with anyone else. Don't work with anyone else. Don't work with the opposite side because they're evil, whatever it is. They want to start a class war when it's not a class war. It's not really about race or gender. It's about who controls the banks and who controls Hollywood and who controls the music industry and so on and so
Who
forth,
controls the
right?
world?
But
Who
in your
controls everything?
opinion, when they try to when they try to pocket people and create like pocket tribes, what do you think of what I just said there? Did they try to tell the women one message and the men another message?
Of course, women are the easiest people to market to. They hold the biggest debt in the world as a commercial debt, personal debt, credit card debt,
Yeah,
and they're the
yeah.
easiest people to
The
market
average
to.
woman
Look at,
spends $566,000 more in a lifetime than the average man. That's right.
yeah, it's at the end of the day, they only care about, buying stuff to appease them on a personal level. And that's
No,
what
but
a
but
lot of,
but in the case of messaging, right? In this Obama
yeah.
era and the early 2010s, where like democratic
Yeah,
values
it's
really
because
took over
Obama
storm.
basically said that, fuck men, let's just get minorities and simp men and women this platform. And it failed for the last 15 years. Like, it's stupid. It's literally DI. Joe
Yeah, but
Biden
they
did it.
said, that they would tell the women that feminism is great, and they would empower women, women empowerment and International Women's Day,
There's
and
no
then
such
they
thing
would
as women
tell men the
empowerment.
exact opposite, bro. Like what? Like how do you think they managed to do that? And how do you think
It's
people managed
control.
to fall for it? Because both
Yeah,
women and men, let's be honest, bro. Let's be honest. Both men and women have fallen for the propaganda. It's not really just one gender. How did they
I
manage to
know,
do
but
that?
it's through school. Every day you're going to school, they tell men, hey, like you're nothing. Women deserves this. You should be doing this for these women. So school is the number one thing. Number two is Hollywood. controlling through TV shows, cartoons, and also movies now. Number three is through cultural, music,
Mm.
sports, um, gaming systems. Like Gamergate was very big. So at the end of the day, it's like, controlling everything through the
Yeah,
prism
give
of
me an example of what in those, like for example, in the movie systems, right? In the movies, how would they
yeah,
depict men and versus how would they depict women? Because I know the answer to this, but I want to hear it from
yeah,
you,
they make they're not since Hollywood, they have not been able to make like a action movie. Like look at Marvel. Like ever since like, Iron Man, Captain America, and everything, they started pushing more female roles early 20s, 2015, 16, 17, 18, and it failed. After the Avengers, they had like some of the wokest shit ever. Like you had fucking they made Iron Man character into a female called Ironheart. It collapsed. They had faggots, sodomites, they had transgenders. It failed. Like they've been blocking that show for the last 5 years, and they released it this summer. Epic fail. They released the whole thing because they're like, hey,
yeah.
let's just
The
burn
movie
it down.
movie franchises have taken a hit. I hope they learned the lesson, by the way. I genuinely
They'll,
hope they learned that lesson.
they'll never learn. They'll never learn. Like Hollywood is dead. It's like everyone who owns a production
No,
company
but
has
what
shit.
I'm referring to specifically is, yeah, that's one example. But the example that I was thinking of is actually in these classic TV shows, in these classic films, for example, Friends or The Big Bang Theory. Yusuf, are you there?
I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm here.
In these classic TV shows, right? For example, The Big Bang Theory, I'm sure you've heard or seen of that. And then
Oh,
Friends,
yeah.
they and The Simpsons too, bro. Think about The Simpsons. All these TV shows would paint the male figure as a bumbling idiot, as this beta, like this like cock who is a pushover. He is constantly bossed around by his kids and his wife. He's constantly bossed around by his employers. He's disrespected by his friends. He's not physically capable. He's not physically competent. He's not mentally competent. He isn't sharp. He isn't real. He doesn't have any leadership qualities. And they would do this in every film, by the way. I mean, we
Oh, yeah.
can we can keep going. Like think about Big Bang Theory, bro, for example, and think about The Simpsons. The
Nah,
dads
I
and the
don't watch that.
husbands.
No, it's all propaganda. It's all propaganda for the masses. A lot of normal people watch it because it's fun, but it's a slight message. Make the men useless. Make them into like incompetent savages, and let the
And think
women take
about
over.
how they painted the women. They would make them like strong and hot and attractive, and and they would
I
be,
know.
the boss babes, and they would be the leader of the household, and they would be bossing the man around. A lot of the times, I would watch these TV shows, bro, and honestly, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that people. Can you hear me, by the way? I could not believe
Yeah,
that people would fall for this propaganda to the point where they just don't even see it anymore. They're so blind to it. And you're right, the messaging is so subtle. And I think that's how they do it. I think that's by, creating thousands of tiny impressions over time to implant that theory that like men are bumbling idiots and so on and so forth. They should be bossed around, they should be disrespected, and so on. But go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I'm just telling people there's a reason why Western shows have collapsed, and the reason why anime has grown like insane. It's because no one wants to be lectured to. People just want to watch stuff and just be happy. They don't want to watch some like political, ideological, leftist nonsense.
They always find
That's
a way
why.
to put it in there.
Yeah, but right now, there's a reason why anime has grown. It's because anime is Japanese. It's foreign. You can't control it.
Hmm. True. Yeah.
Yeah.
True. And
And
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like some type of new youth cartoon culture. And I have no problem if people want to watch something, but we're here to warn people, and that's
yeah,
what's really important.
you can
But
watch your slop. But at the end of the day, don't be a fucking retarded person who's going to be a slave. But the easiest thing is to be is people get controlled through selective shows, selective
mm,
programming, selective marketing. That's how
mainstream
you
media.
control someone. Mainstream media, same thing. It's still
And let's talk about
it's
that for a second. Let's talk about mainstream media. Let's talk about the news outlets, CNN, ABC, MSNBC, NBC, and so on and so forth. I mean, there's so many, Reuters, Al Jazeera, so many. And they would push all these leftist agendas and everything else like that. And people would grow up watching that because it was the only thing on their TV. And even if they had social media, even back in the late 2010s, people were still watching TV. Of course, now they don't because post-COVID, people realize that Netflix is more important than TV. And I would kind of agree with them on that. And that you don't have to watch TV. You can just watch YouTube and get your news from YouTube or X or any of these other sites that are far more reliable, number one. And number two, they don't push that propaganda on you as much, right? You can curate your algorithm to see what you would want to see, right? A custom generated algorithm. But yeah, how do you think the news outlets played a role in pushing young women to be more liberal versus young men to be more conservative? Like, let's start with the women first, in this case.
The women are easy to control. You just have to tell them, hey, like there's 50% off shopping, you can go there and that, and it's
No,
always
no, I'm talking about the
brainwashed.
news outlets. Like, how would you,
Oh, yeah.
how,
I mean, like it's also commercial too. So news, they have anchors always in there. They have a good looking anchor no matter what. There's never like an ugly one. They have another
no, that would
anchor
be
who's a
stupid.
male.
Yeah, that would be stupid.
Yeah, it's business. So don't forget, like people want hot women. Hot women are anchors, and women who are watching that wanna implement that lifestyle. It's been chosen since Barbara Keene from The Godfather. She was a famous model, and then she got on TV. Everyone was copying her style. Like it's just easy to control women. You just have to bring like selective controlling, and then that's how you push the feminism. That's how you push the ideology because you have another
Can you
woman
go a
saying
little
it.
bit deeper into that? Like what is that feminism ideology? What are the main components? Like I remember before we just talked about this before with the T, like the ways that they control people. But can you give me like that sort of one, two, three, four, five breakdown of that ideology?
So step one to control women is have
No, the
them.
feminist ideology. Like what is that?
Yeah,
What is that?
feminist ideology means that women are more superior than men. In their mind, they want to control everything.
Which is weird because
Government,
they said they wanted equality,
power,
but
everything.
that's not what
It's
it seems.
not about equality. Like once you have like a cult ideology, it's never about equality. It's about control. And with it has been proven, if you give women one control, chaos happens. Imagine you have a fucking female president who's having a fucking
We almost
period.
had
She
that.
can just
We
launch a
almost
nuke.
had
Yeah,
Kamala, but
yeah. Thank God.
yeah,
Thank
yeah,
God
thank
Trump,
God. But
Trump
just to
pushed
go
him.
back to this, like what is the ideology? Like what are they telling women?
Ideology is control. It's about control and power. It's not about equality. It's about subversion, control, manipulation, pushing their ideology to other women, and just making money. At the end of the day, they don't care about anything but themselves. It's
But
about
what do they tell
centralizing
them
power.
in order to manipulate? Like what are the things
Oh,
like
it's
go
small
into like the
hints.
Korea babe and no man, I don't need a man and like that sort of
Like,
stuff.
yeah, it's like through number one, it's through music. You have female rappers
Really?
who are married to other rappers. Like you have Beyonce telling all single ladies like it was a single hit, telling women like, oh, you don't need a man. All you need is just my music and my feminist ideology. While she's married to a billionaire, Jay-Z. Number two, it's about schooling. Who holds the highest debt?
Hmm.
Women. And that's how the government and these lenders make money. They
Highest
just give them
college debt
high
too, by
interest
the way.
rates.
Highest college
Oh
debt too.
yeah, and yeah, you're in college, but at the end of the day, the job market always evolves. Every 15 to 20 years, the job market evolves because there's new
Yeah,
technology.
you better be
So
ready
with
for it.
AI, they're not ready. When AI comes, they're all going to be, put out of business. So the accounting, the HRs, the administration, I can put up a software and then have one person instead of 10 women. Simple. I just have to have one person just managing it. That's it.
Yeah.
And number three, it's
Like an
about
IT manager or something like that. Yeah.
exactly. You just need to have like a managerial person just watching these fucking data centers and these softwares running
Yeah,
at
yeah.
perfect speed.
Yeah, sorry, go
Number
ahead. What was
three,
number three?
number three is about the the style of clothing and food.
Food.
Who
Okay.
makes them? Yeah, so food is for women, ice cream, chocolates, junk food. Who eats majority of that stuff?
Yeah, and they spend a lot of money going to these restaurants. What I've seen also,
Correct.
not only are women more likely to have consumer debt than men and credit card debt, but they
Oh
are
yeah,
very malleable. into the sense of the fine dining industry, bro. And you see these ridiculous restaurants, and their portion sizes are so bad. It's like I would never go there. Like I had the money, I wouldn't go to a restaurant,
It's all
pay,
for women.
paying
It's
two
all
hundred
for
dollars for a
women.
steak. Paying $200 for steak, and the size of the steak is like the size of these AirPods or something like that. But women would do it, bro. I've seen women that they would spend $50 on ice cream, and the ice cream bowl is like, again, the size of this. What is that even? Like, how could you
It's
possibly?
about control. It's about fine dining. And they want to make women spend money on these fine dining, these Michelin
But doesn't
restaurants.
that tie into the social media thing, dude? Because they would
It
then
is. It is.
upload that on
It is.
social media.
It is. It's because they seek validation. Never forget, it's about validation. They don't care. They just want other people to praise them. It's it's a kind of like a dictator asking his subjects to bow down and send him like daily messages. That's what women want. They want full control. They don't want anything else.
Okay,
Like,
and I mean, let's talk about how now let's talk about the men's side of things. And this one is kind of personal to me because I've had to experience this too. But let's
mm,
go through the exact same dot points. You remember your dot points, right? And then let's go through what have they told men? Um, you know.
basically, men have been told like survive. That's it. There's no, there's nothing for you. You know what I mean?
Like what propaganda? Like just go through those dot points that you went through again. Um
So with men right now, especially
social
young
media.
men,
Let's start with social media. Like what?
social media, there are men who are easily brainwashed through like seeing lifestyles of rich cars and all this stuff. So men inherently want to make wealth to live a good life and to make money for their families. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's also grifters trying to make money through scamming, selling courses, selling this, books maxing, all this weird stuff.
Mm.
They don't care about that. Number two is about schooling. They have focused more on women's nonsense than actual blue collar jobs and actual proper.
No, but no, no,
Uh,
but I'm saying what was the message of these liberal ideologies to men? What were they telling men? Like what were they
what
telling?
they want, what they want men is like to fuck off. What they want is like meant to be slaves. They don't
Why?
care
Why
about
do why
anything
do
else.
they want why do they want men to go away? Like what? Like
Yeah, it's because
you've heard like let's talk about a few of the terms, right? Like toxic masculinity and men are evil, men are bad, like kill all men. Like
it's not even
what?
toxic masculinity. They want men to be neutered. That way they can rise up and fight for their rights. That's what's happening in Europe, in the UK. They have like savages on boats coming in, causing chaos, while you're going to your 9 to 5 job and then working your second job. You have people sitting on welfare while you're just sitting there, and they're saying that's for liberalism. That's not liberalism. It's literally indentured slavery because those people that are coming, they're gonna take over your lands, your properties, your community, and they don't care about the country as a whole, as a collective, as working for the common good, for the common cause. It's just that they want stuff for themselves, and that's what's happening. And a lot of men are pushing back against this because who are the ones that voted for this stuff? And women and simp men.
And what are
Simp
we
men believe.
what are they communicating to men like you're useless, you're this, and how has that affected men? Because obviously you have the side
Men are
of
tricked
men
out.
that
They're like,
complied
this is
and they said, yeah, we are useless, masculinity is bad, and they basically got into the state of shaming themselves for being born for who they are, which is insane to me. It's insane that you
yes.
would be ashamed of who you were when you were born, like whether you're a black person or a brown person or white or European, whatever you are. Like it's very weird to me that you would have to be shamed for the way you were born. That doesn't sit right with me at all, you know?
It's about control. They don't care about anything else. So men have checked out from this nonsense. They're like, you know what?
And then we have the rise in the conservative movement. As you said, men just checked out. You just said that. What do you mean by that? How did they check out? How did they be like, how
It's
did they
because
look at that and
it's
be like, no, 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 we reject this? Like who's been leading that movement? Who's been doing that?
I mean, you look at Donald Trump. He got elected 3 times. He literally told The men in 2015 is like,
including Jenner. Yeah.
we he literally said, "Hey, you were forgotten, you were wiped out, you were left to die for like some third world savages and for
Yeah.
women that don't care. I'm the fighter. I'm your fighter." And that connected with people when he made his speeches in the rallies
Yeah.
and I tell people watch the 2016 presidential inauguration called American Carnage. He talked about the carnages of all communities, of all faith bases, of all the men's jobs being shipped overseas and everything, and greedy elites have wiped out towns and states for profit. Back in the early days of America, it was about community and family, faith, family, and football. It's very strong, those three things.
Yeah. And
And,
notice how
and
all those things are traditionally masculine things.
yeah, it's
Men are
about
religious, men
yeah,
are close to God, men love their families, they want to have families, and men love playing sports, that's all.
correct. And the problem now is they have brainwashed women into thinking that they don't need families, and women are just having pain, like they're having mental breakdowns. They're on fucking pills called SSRIs. They're drinking. They're unhappy. They're going
And
to
before we
debt because
bring up that age of depression, which is currently now, unfortunately, and the we Gen Z is called the medication generation, We're called the medication
yeah,
generation. And
they're just
and and
popping
before we
pills.
before we get into that, I just want to pull up this tweet for the audience, guys. Thank you for listening so far. Please like, subscribe, share this with someone who want to see this. But I just want to pull something up real quick, Yusuf, if you could take a look at my screen. And let me know if you can see it, by the way. Uh can you see it?
Uh, I can see it. Yeah,
You can see it? So this is a tweet from Brian Atlas, who runs a whatever podcast. Can you see it, by the way? Is it clear?
I can see it.
Yeah? All good?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I'm gonna read this tweet. It says that studies show women have an incredibly strong in-group bias, 4.5 times higher than men. And by the way, this is going to confirm a lot of what we were talking about. Meanwhile, men have no statistically significant in-group bias. Think about that. 4.5%, 4.5 times means 450% more. You just converted to a percentage. It's really difficult to imagine the incredible ways such an in-group bias must color their thinking on virtually everything. That's why I'm never surprised that the majority of women automatically side with women, even if it means ignoring facts and evidence. Yusuf, what do you think about this tweet? Is Brian on the money here?
He is right. Like women are tribal creatures, and with them is like they rather be surrounded by their own hens. It's like it's a rooster with other chicks. They just want to be surrounded by their own ideology and worldview. They don't want to be challenged. Like in men, like you have to challenge other men with their thinking. That's why you have debates, intense debates, and sometimes
Just
there's a
think
threat of
about that though.
violence.
Just think about that. They have a 4.5 times higher in-group bias than men do. What does that
Yeah,
mean? That must be
it means
incredible.
it means it's just a fucking hen
It's an echo
house.
chamber.
Yeah, it's a little echo chamber, and they don't think for themselves. They're fucking retarded.
And what
They're
Brian
stupid.
does so brilliantly, by the way, Yusuf, is that he has these women on, and maybe you'll have a male guest on too. But
Oh
you'll
yeah,
see that his last sentence, where he says, I'm never surprised that a majority of women will automatically side with the women, even if it means ignoring facts and evidence, which, translation, guys, that means that women will agree with other women, even though that other woman might be wrong, even though that other woman might have a completely different worldview, that one woman thinks, she's crazy. She's absolutely nuts. But I'm still going to agree with that. I'm still going to side with her because of this in-group bias. What do you think about that, Yusuf?
I mean that's the that's the basis of feminist ideology. Surround yourself with the same useless witches, control the discord, and push your ideology to the masses. They don't care about social cohesion. They just care about themselves, their needs. How can I push this?
Oh,
And
social
and that's
cohesion, but only with other women, is what.
yeah, it's about other women, and they don't care about the other world. If there's another woman fighting back against her nonsense, they will destroy her, and that is proven fact.
Yeah. And
And again,
just to add on to what you said, it's
Yeah.
insane to me because you see these podcasts, and I'm sure if you could give me an example right now where like a bunch of women are talking, whether it's on Fresh and Fit or whatever, or in these other podcasts where women are talking with one another, and you can clearly see that there's a strong disagreement between two or more women, but for some reason they won't rise up, for some reason they won't speak out against that woman or something like that. Um, have you seen that happen before?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it. Like they've done it in public, they've done it in private, and they've done it to their own significant other. These
Yeah.
people are lunatics. You can't negotiate with terrorists. That's what I always tell them. You cannot negotiate with terrorists like them. It's because they will try to push their ideology, man or woman, and they will always have a knife ready to go to stab you in the back. It's not the people that are coming from you at the front, it's the people coming for you from the back. And that's what women are. They will stab each other to get to the top. They're just emotional creatures. You don't take what God created seriously.
Yeah. And
And
just to add this on, we were talking about loyalty, and this is one of the subjects I want to Yusuf, if you could look at me for a second. We were
yeah,
talking about loyalty, and one of the most important things about loyalty is making sure you pledge your allegiance to the right thing. And what the liberal movement has done, Yusuf, is that they have told you that your country doesn't matter, your religion doesn't matter, none of this matters, which is so ironic because they're the ones who play identity politics the most, right? We saw this with Zoran Mamdani, by the way. Mamdani is like, hey, I'm brown, vote for me. I'm Indian, vote for me. Um, I'm Muslim, vote for me. I'm Ugandan, vote for me. I'm from Queens, vote for me, or something like this, Constant identity politics, which actually ruins what politics is supposed to be about, which is the battle and the clash of different ideologies to determine which one is superior and which one works, right? But the left has completely, disemboweled that. And it's glaringly obvious now that the left has been telling women and men, by the way, just so men are not immune to this problem whatsoever. Um, they are the primary victims in this case, that your nation doesn't matter. And I want to play a clip, Yusuf. Just watch this clip and let me know if you can see my screen. And let me know if you can
yeah.
hear the clip all right. But this is a clip from the Whatever podcast where Brian asks a woman who's a US citizen who's spent more than 10 years in the United States of America to pick between the US and the country that she immigrated from. Uh, and this is insane because he's asking basically, which country are you loyal to? If there was a war between the US and Colombia, who would you side with? And would you move out or would you do this? Just watch this clip here for a second, Yusuf. Can you see my screen, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, let's play this clip real quick.
Because I'm from Colombia.
You've lived here. Let's say the United States went to war with Colombia. Who do you side with?
Colombia.
Get the fuck out of our country. Holy, why do you side with Colombia?
Because I'm from Colombia.
You've lived here for 10 years and you're now a citizen.
Okay, still that doesn't mean I'm not gonna side
You
with my
have no.
country.
Okay, I'm looking this up. Yes, becoming a citizen requires taking the oath of allegiance. By taking the oath, you pledge to renounce any foreign allegiance, support and defend the U.S. Constitution and laws, and perform service to the country when required by law. You do not become a citizen until you have completed the oath ceremony and received your certificate of naturalization. Did you receive your certificate of naturalization?
Yes.
Did you complete the oath ceremony?
Yes.
So you're a liar? Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Here, read that shit again. I do solemnly swear that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure. I don't even know what the that means. All allegiance, Colombia, and fidelity to any foreign prince or what the potentate? Is that a fucking fruit? What the is that shit? It's like a pomegranate and a potato. State or sovereignty. Did you say that shit?
Yeah.
So you lied to get into the United States,
I
bruv.
didn't lie.
You have allegiance to Colombia.
It's not allegiance.
Originally, you said Colombia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll stick to that answer.
Yusuf, what are your thoughts on that clip? This is insane.
I fucking go deport that bitch immediately. These kind of people are the most
No, but
dangerous.
in all seriousness, what did you think, and what's the real issue here? Like, what's that issue here? I
It's
get the
that
joke, but what's the issue?
the issue here is like they rather live like in a first world country like in America, have its resources and everything, than go back to their shithole countries. At the end of the day, they only care about, just being like woke social justice warriors. They don't care about anything else. And again, it's
Social
the stuff that
justice warriors, yeah, that term is
yep.
so overplayed. Like they don't care about social justice when it comes to the real important topics, but it's like, everything else is, you know.
It's like if I was if I was an ICE officer watching that, I would just send that to Stephen Miller and just say, "Oh, go fucking deport this creature from the country." Like you cannot take these people seriously. Like they don't care about anything else but themselves. They just care about their woke nonsense. Fucking Aboriginal, whatever the fuck she's from. Fucking go back to cocaine land, fucking Colombia. Go back to a shithole country.
So
Get the fuck out.
I want to bring this to attention. This is Representative Pramila Jayapal. Now,
Oh, not that.
Pramila moved, just to give the audience some context here, guys. Pramila Jayapal moved to the United States from India as a student. And, she assimilated and she integrated and she did a bunch of things. But this is one of the issues that I have with the liberal woke agenda, which is this. I tweeted this, and I'm sure you saw this, Yusuf, but I want to share this with our audience. Um, uh, I want to share this with our audience. This tweet went viral by Pramila, and this is what she said. Take a look. Just tell me if you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah? Read this. Abortion is healthcare, full stop. So there you go. I mean, they're full on the pedals now. The fact that the Democrats lost
Oh my.
in 2024 election, let's be honest, they lost during 2020 as well.
This is
January
because of
6th.
transgenders. Like she made her own kid into a fucking tranny.
Yeah, and here's the thing. This is Owen Schroyer replied, full stop of an innocent baby's life. Aren't y'all against that in the Middle East? Guess it's all fake. And this is what I replied, okay? Okay, if you could read out my reply.
Give me a second. Which country did you move from to the United States? India, right? Does India think of abortion? They might be right.
I mean,
Gee.
this is one of the things, bro, you gotta agree with the Indians on. They are right about that. Um,
I
and
mean,
this is another thing this is another thing I wanted to discuss is this whole abortion issue and everything else. Like, how do you think that, of course they can market it to women because, they're the ones, it's her body, her choice or whatever like that. But how do you think they've managed to market it to men? Because that must be hard.
of course, there are people, there are men who wanted to have children, but women aborted their fucking children. People don't know about this.
But
Like
how,
abortion,
but I understand how women can be malleable to this abortion topic, but how can men be, you know? How can
like there's a lot of simp men, there's a lot of faggot men, simp men
what no, but what do
who
they tell them? Like what go through the steps here? Like what,
they
you know?
basically say, oh, like the woman can die from this, and that. I'm like, nobody dies from fucking abortion. Nobody dies from fucking abortion. Like it's all propaganda. Abortion is literally in the
It's not the
Bible and Quran.
1600s,
Literally say
We have
it
better
is
technology
illegal.
now.
Yeah, it's not 1600s. Like there's modern healthcare, there's modern medicine, there's modern
There's
treatments.
painkillers,
Like there's literally ways to protect
Tylenol as
women.
well.
Uh, Tylenol. There's also procedures now where women can be safe.
Yeah,
Like
and
it's not like
but just to bring it back, how did they convince the men? Like how did they get the men on this?
like and there's always going to be men who are traitors and simps. So with those people, they made them think like it's a healthcare issue, meaning that the bitch can die on the fucking
Explain
table.
that. Explain that. Like how did they?
So they had seminars, schooling. Don't forget, it's about schooling,
Seriously,
TV.
I don't know about
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Oh
Tell
yeah,
me more.
like you have to look into it. Like since universities, the early '70s, they've been pushing abortion, um, controlling women's access to pills and everything. So there are leftist men who are pushing that nonsense, saying that you need to worship women, you need to do this and stuff. I mean, like you don't hear women saying that on my name, on my honor. Like they have no name or honor. Like men is like you have to have honor and name. And the problem is like these leftist men have created like a climate where it is okay to kill a child. It is okay to like abort your 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 living
Your gift from God.
child. Yeah. And people don't understand like these women now, they can go be promiscuous, they can do whatever, and they can just go have abortions.
Well, there's no
It's insane.
consequence.
Oh yeah, like back in the
We
day, like if
don't.
a woman did this kind of
One of the
stuff, like she
things
would,
about liberal, like, okay, just to interject here, dude. One of the things
yeah,
about liberalism is teaching people that you can do whatever you want, and if anybody criticizes you for it, it's their fault. Your actions don't have any consequences on other people, you know? Oh, I think your video blacked out. If you could get that back. Are you there?
I mean, I'm here, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, get your video back. Yeah, you're back. So, sorry, what were you saying?
I'm saying that like there's no way to control this. There's only one way to do it. Like you have to fight back and
But
spread the
these
message
seminars, what were they teaching at these seminars?
about like women having rights and shit, about abortion, and it's all just propaganda. It's about selling your ideology. It's not about collective health. It's about control, selective control. If you have control, you can dictate the terms, and that's what a lot of feminists and abortion pro pro killers do. They don't care about like your family and kids. They just want to celebrate abortion parties. They have abortion parties. They have literally. I mean, they have government sanctioned abortion. Think about that. Like this government sanctioned abortion. They have abortion clinics in Canada too, like in hospitals.
They're making it more accessible. What do you think about
Yeah.
that?
I'm like, these are the end times. Like once you start doing these kind of things, that's against God, against morality, against, as a collective, that's when you know that the day of judgment and end times is coming. Because there are signs for this stuff. Like, abortion is not healthcare. Healthcare is fucking surgeries, cancer,
When you're
feeding
sick,
tubes,
when you're sick,
when you're
you know?
sick.
That's what
Abortion is not,
healthcare is. Caring for your health, you know?
of course.
There are
At
people
the end
there
of
are
the day,
people that can't afford surgery, but then there's people getting aborted, you know? I've always
oh
found
yeah,
that a bit.
like make that sense. Make that sense. Like surgeries are important in healthcare, but
They should be
abortions are
prioritized. There
not
are
important.
people that are waiting for surgeries for 6 months. I know my parents waited for surgery. I've waited for surgery. Like it's
Okay.
insane, you
It's
know?
insane because the problem is that they're not teaching the populace to be doctors and everything. They're making the populace waiting to die. Like they want some people to be dead.
Well, abortion
They
does that. It literally stops you from giving birth. So,
yeah, and people don't understand. Like they have
like,
techniques.
whether you think it's killing a life or not, I mean, there are a few concrete facts. Like abortion stops you from giving birth, which stops you from reproducing, which stops you from having a family. Like that's
You
literally
become
what it is.
dust.
Like whether you think, again, Yusuf, we can play this thing where it's like, oh, but maybe it's not alive, but it is. Of course it's alive, but it's like the other people that don't believe it's alive, which is a vast majority of people here in Australia. We could even use I'm like, okay, bro, it's not alive, but you're still ending someone's ability to give birth. Like that's what it is, right?
You're making the woman into a husk, basically like an eggless, empty person, and that person is gonna have mental problems, and it's been documented. When women go through abortions and stuff, they go mentally crazy. Like multiple abortions make women go
And they feel
mentally
guilty
crazy.
about it, which is actually a good
Oh
sign,
yeah.
you know?
Of course, they feel guilty, and at the end of the day, they're finished.
Because no matter how much, Yusuf, no matter how much we want to brainwash people, people will still turn to their natural proclivity, which is what is so important about the conservative movement. The conservative movement, Yusuf, as you know, and as you've seen, because you've been in this game for a lot longer than I have, appeals to people's natural proclivity, especially young men and young women. It tells people that, hey, it's okay to be the way that you were born. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to change your hair color, your face surgery. You don't have to get a BBL. You don't have to your looks mat. You don't have to do any of this stuff, Like you're perfect the way you are. God designed you to be a certain way, and that's the way you're going to be. Of course, we can improve and we can get better, but never hate yourself for the way you were born because you have a natural proclivity, and that natural proclivity cannot be beaten at times. just as we discussed. And this is another thing I want to get into, which is the liberal woke ideology. Somehow, they're screaming. This is one of the things. This is so funny. I find this so funny. But they're like, you know, like we should, you hear this all the time. We shouldn't objectify women. We shouldn't objectify, like, women are not sex objects. Like, stop staring at them. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. I'm like, you literally push 18 plus content. You literally push corn. You push corn. You push OnlyFans. You push all these websites. You push this algorithms on social media. You push all of this stuff, and you want it, like, your theory is the opposite of your application. Do you get what I'm saying here?
100%.
Yeah,
It's about
and they want to
control.
say things like, "Oh, they shouldn't be objectified." That's what we say. That's what we as conservatives say. We say that. That's our line. You took it from us, but you push the exact opposite ideology than us. You push the exact opposite. You tell women and you tell people like OnlyFans and corn is empowering. Of course it's not. You want to say things like, "Oh, don't objectify women." Why are you pushing corn? Why are you pushing, OnlyFans? Why are you pushing that stuff? Like, what do you think of that? What do you think of that insane double standard? And I have a clip, by the way, that I'm gonna play for a second, where it's like these two content creators. But what do you think of that? It's an insane double standard, isn't it?
It is, but again, they have no morality. They have no morality. Once you have no morality in a secular society, you become like a lawless society. You start pushing the boundaries of man, things that have never been done in
Do you think
history,
they
and
understand this insane double standard, though?
they don't. It's because they live in their own echo chambers, their own bubble. At the end of
It's
the day,
at one point the echo chamber has to be broken, though, Yusuf. Like, at one point,
but at the end of the day, like some people you can't save them. Like let them die in their own madness. You know,
it's vanity. It's endless vanity.
it is an endless vanity, and self absorption of the ego becomes like it never ends well. It never ends well, no matter what.
Yeah.
Like it's like things will always end bad.
But the double standard, the fact that they want to say don't objectify us, and it's like, well, that's what the conservatives actually say. So how about we work on that? No, why? Because you're a conservative, you're a racist. Like, what? And they come up with the worst excuses because they don't want. I saw you shake your head there. What are you what are you thinking about?
These people are fucking retarded. Like you cannot negotiate with terrorists. Logic does not work with them. You have
Yeah.
to kill their ideology at the root stems. These are just battle warriors. Like they're just puppets that you're just on a chess piece. That's it. You have to go after the thought leaders. That's it.
And this is
Only
and you have to go after the thought leaders and you have to go after the thought leaders, okay? And this is what I mean by that. All right. I'm gonna play this clip, Yusuf. Just take a look. This is Sena and Sarah Safari. Now, both of these two
oh god,
both of these people are clowns. I mean, they've been exposed for their wokeness and all that sort of other stuff. But this is they're constantly saying this: don't objectify us, don't, we're not sex objects. This is what the left is saying, right? But I'm gonna play this clip and it will show the exact opposite. And it will show that my theory of the double standards is completely correct. Let's play this clip real quick. Let's see what happens here.
For Black Friday, you can get this. Wonderful.
oh
set.
my god.
Let me see it one more time. I didn't see it. How do you like this, Sarah? You can stay turned around. Oh, yeah, that's really. Or you look really good. You look fire. This way? You look amazing. Cut that part out.
It's free.
For Black Friday, you can get this.
I'm gonna play it one more time. This is insane.
Wonderful
I
set.
mean, this is
Let me see it
Guru
one more time.
content.
I didn't see it. How do
Disgusting.
you like this, Sarah? You can stay turned around.
I'm gonna bring me a stick so I can beat the shit out of these bitches.
Yeah, that's really. Or you look really good. You look fire.
Notice how she's lying, by the way. Like, she's
Amazing.
completely lying. Like, she has no muscles, she has no glutes, no nothing. Like, what people would consider, generic gym success for women, she doesn't have that. And then now, I mean, this is what I replied, by the way. Women aren't objects. Stop objectifying us. I mean, it just goes to share my point. Yusuf, what do you think of that clip? Like, she literally said, "This is what you can get for Black Friday."
I mean, she's promoting her own brand. It's all about branding. They don't care about like, morals and shit. It's about selling a product, hawking a
She is the
product. That's it.
product. She is the product.
Yeah, yeah. And then she
And she
wants to
said
essentially
that. She
keep that.
says for Black Friday you can get this, and she spins around, you know?
I mean, they're horse. There's a day that where I'm gonna bring a stick or sword
Oh,
and just
somebody replied, Abdul, get the rocks, and I was like,
yeah, get the rocks. We're
that I
gonna
mean
play
that's a
baseball.
timeless meme, but in the generic sense, before going too radical, which you sometimes tend to do, bro. Well, what do you think of that? What do you think of the clip? Like what?
I mean, this is modern female sexuality right now. Like there's no way you can put this back in a bottle. Like the clothing, the skimping, the
There's
social
no
media,
shame.
it's all like, there's no shame. It's just, you're on a cloud 24/7 a day. You're just hawking yourself to fucking simps and Twitch and these e-girls, they're all fucking simps, porn addicts and
And the
degenerates.
CEO of Twitch is even worse because he's promoting these liberal
He's a
ideologies
fucking
on Dan
pedophile.
Clancy. Why don't you tell the audience
He's,
about Dan Clancy? Give them a little
Dan
description.
Clancy is a fucking boomer, 60 years old, living every day, sleeping with these women, just causing chaos on this platform. And don't forget, like if you call a woman fat, you'll be suspended for 2 weeks. If you say the word simp, you're banned for a month, or even permanently banned. But you can post videos about pornography, gooner content. There was a fucking woman performing birth live on Twitch like a few months ago. At the end of the day, can you believe that nonsense? Like people don't understand. Like you can literally
I
post.
didn't hear what you said. What did you say?
I said that Twitch had like a female creator giving live birth on fucking live stream, and the CEO was sending messages saying that good luck. That shows you what kind of society we're in now, where you have to document that. I mean, send the fucking asteroid. Like, send the fucking asteroids. Because this world it needs to be reset perfectly.
And Dan Clancy, for you guys that are new to this information, can you explain to me the uh the the controversy surrounding Dan Clancy? What happened with, you know,
Dan Clancy made a bet with the Twitch ownership group, which is Amazon, that he can get more young people in. What he allowed pornography, women dressing up as like fucking anime characters, pedophilia, the Rainbow Mafia, and they pushed away actual creators who are men, who are into gaming, who are into other stuff. They
yeah.
all moved to fucking the rival Kick and Party because they're like, you know what, fuck this, we can't, speak the truth. We're being censored by leftist retards. The employees are fucking leftist retards who don't give
They're
a
all of
shit.
them are because they're it's a machine, like you said. These
Yeah,
do you
it's a
think that
machine.
Twitch is part of this technocracy?
It is, yes. It
How?
is one of the. It is because they're shaping the young minds. Because an average Twitch user is fucking 7 to 8 years old
Seriously?
watching it.
7 to 8?
Yeah,
Can you double check that? Because I don't believe that, dude.
it
Just
is.
just
Don't forget, kids now are more technologically advanced than
yeah.
we were growing up. So I would say even like at best 10 years old. Because at 10 years old, you know how to use a fucking phone. You know
Yeah.
how to operate
It's
shit.
sad. Should not be like that, by the way.
Yeah, but and at the end of the day, you're selling poison to children. And who are the best customers? Children and young families and kids
Mm.
and women. And that's what Twitch is.
They don't know any better.
Twitch is selling a product this company has never made a profit.
Right.
Don't forget, Twitch is going to be sold soon to other rival companies or shut down because this kind of stuff, there's always going to be a reckoning.
Oh,
There's always
and
going to
yeah,
be.
yeah, and people are not putting up with the woke nonsense. Somebody I've talked to before, like Myron Gaines, for example, he said that. He said that they're not going to
Right.
put up with it. And
Byron
creators,
said it. Other like creators have said it themselves.
Asmongold is someone huge who's been criticizing.
Oh yeah, but Asmongold is just he's just a retarded person. These
He's
kind
got
of
his
people
flaws,
you don't
bro.
take them
But
seriously.
I want
Like
to show this. I
infamous.
want to show this because the controversy that you talked about was bad, but this is what got him. This is what people got riled up over. Basically, this is Dan Clancy, and this is where he got exposed. Take a look at my screen, man. I'm just gonna share this clip real quick, guys. You know, let me know if you can see this. Can you see the Can you see the video?
Yeah, give me a second. Is this the TwitchCon?
No. But can you see the video? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it too.
You want to explore clips,
That's very nice.
and now you have a clips feed. Okay.
Mhm.
Suppose you want to check out the stories to see what you missed yesterday. You click there,
This is Dan Clancy showing his For You page, by the way, guys.
and now you're in your stories feed.
Jeez.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh
Very
fucking.
nice.
Yeah.
That's also
Look at it. Look at his face on
Also-
at the end, bro. Hold on. Let's
Yes.
get
Also-
this. Let's get this. He knew he was gone right there, and that's what people are talking about. You can't hide it anymore, man. You can't hide it anymore. What do you think of that? I mean, it's insane.
I mean, that's the fucking porn addicted old man.
Yeah.
He's a gooner. He's a gooner. Like you can tell. Like these kind of freaks.
How old is he,
You
by
know,
the way?
he's around 60 something. He's old, as you can tell. That nigga, that old man is like a boomer, trying to live his teenage life. Imagine, like, even the guy who was doing the interview was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's like looking at
And this technocracy, just to talk about the technocracy, they are essentially trying to play God. Can you talk about that for a minute? How they're trying to play
Yeah,
God
it's just
with
gonna,
Peter Thiel, especially Palantir.
Peter Thiel doesn't believe in God. He's a fucking homosexual
Hey, he
gay
believes in
man.
the Antichrist, actually. Yeah.
He doesn't believe like okay.
But
the
talk
problem-
about that for a second. How is the technocracy playing God? Because they obviously want to play God, and we see this
It's
with
about
Palantir.
control. It's about control, social credit score, controlling your movements, controlling how you access your devices, controlling what you're viewing, and controlling your job in life. They want everything to be a camera in you. Camera in your house, camera in your car, camera on your phone, camera on your other devices. No, this has been proven. There's been studies on this since the early
Are
90s.
you talking about China, for example, where they have that social credit score?
Forget about China. China is different. This is a whole different industrial complex. They want to make, there was a fucking startup that wanted to make drones, surveillance drones. So
In
like
Gaza.
no, not in Gaza, in America.
Is
You
this
want to set-
this is Palantir somehow part of this? I know.
Yeah, Palantir is part of it, but this guy wanted to make, on the light post, have a drone set up. So like it can view your house, it can view your neighborhood, it can view everything.
Hmm.
And it can just connect to your house as well.
Who is
So
this
it
guy?
can-
Who's behind it?
He's like I have to bring up his name, but he's one of Peter Thiel's disciples. Like Mark Andreessen, Ben Horowitz. These two
Oh, yeah,
retards
yeah.
who want to control people. Like Ben Horowitz and Mark Andreessen. They're pushing gambling. They're pushing pornography. They're pushing scamming fucking fintech products. They're pushing retarded platforms that cause chaos.
Like TikTok.
No, forget about TikTok. The TikTok is different. TikTok is a social media platform. TikTok,
Yeah, but just to talk about the surveillance thing, like you said they're playing God because they want to be like God and they want control.
yeah,
The
in
surveillance
their
drone
mind-
thing. How is that? Is that part of Project 2025 or what is that part
It's
of?
not project. It's
Okay,
not
so what are they
Project
doing?
20. They want to control the world. Information is data, and learning about your citizens is the easiest way to make money. Knowing what you like, what I like, knowing what I like to eat, what I not like to eat, knowing where I like to go and frequent and my hobbies, knowing where I go to the gym or get my supplements. They want to know everything about you. So there's no privacy. It's that you're the product, and now they are the master. And that's what they're doing in Europe. In Europe now, it's crazy. It's just the government that are doing most of the damage because Europe has no tech companies. Their companies have been wiped out because they all went to America. In late 2010 to 2015, they were like, we can't make any money here or growth. We'll just go to America
Why is that?
because Europe as a continent, as the institution, Europeans are more dangerous. They want to control your life. They want to control your habits. There's no freedom of speech there like in Europe. People do not know this. The EU literally has laws where they can search your phones, take your devices,
Right.
take everything from your house. They have laws where they can just tell you you're under arrest, but you're not under arrest. Terrorism laws. They have laws where they can literally just make your life a living hell. And that's what George Galloway said, like when he went back to the UK from visiting, like
Yeah.
China and Russia. He was placed under terrorism law arrest. He's not under arrest, but they said that if you don't cooperate, you are gonna be charged. Like how retarded is that? Like you have no subpoena, you have no paperwork, you have nothing. You're just saying that like follow me. That's fucking 1984 George Orwell. Big brother is here. Surveillance state is here.
Yeah. Sorry, could you go on about George Galloway, what he was saying?
So George Galloway was saying that like police state is here. Like they can take away your money, your lands, your personal property. They can antagonize your family and friends. They can just use every trick in the book to discourage you and your friends from like seeking the truth. Because once the state has a monopoly on violence, because you have no Second Amendment, you have no First Amendment, right to free speech, First Amendment. Second is to bear your arms against a tyrannical government. You have no freedoms. So you can't fight back with words. You can't fight back with guns. So you're a neutered person. Like you are just you are under their control now. There's nothing you can do. And that's why George Galloway is like, I'm not coming back to the UK until I am, legitimately free from this persecution. And never forget, the state always has control over violence. No matter what you do, they will always find a way to like make your life a living hell. They won't go after you. They'll go after your families. They'll try to sugar trap them, honey trap them through schemes and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening in the world now. If you look at Europe, America, Canada, all Western nations now are collapsing because they don't have anything else to give anymore. Just take. They're just, jackboot thugs taking your money, taking your life savings away. These are evil people. They don't care about you. They just care about themselves and their power. It's just their power. David Icke is a British former.
Yeah, but before you go on here, I just want to play this clip real quick where he talks about his his exile and everything like that.
Yeah.
You talked about his being politically exiled from his own country. Which countries did he move to, by the way? Just want to know about that.
He went to Malaysia.
He went to what?
Malaysia.
Oh, right. Why Malaysia though?
It's where his wife is from.
And he's criticizing the government, by the way. Just to take a look at this, I'm going to share this clip real quick. Just take a look here.
Yeah.
Let me know if you. This is him on Tucker Carlson. I'm sure the reason why you brought him up is because he recently went on Tucker, right? Here we go. Can you see?
Yeah, I see it.
I think the next election, if Britain survives,
Go ahead and
will
watch.
be a parliament, a balkanized parliament. The nationalists, separatists will have another go, and this time they may very well succeed. The Greens, socialist parties like mine and others. But the main winner will be will be reform. Nigel Farage is currently on track for an absolute majority in the next parliament. But I'm sorry to tell you, you probably like him more than I do, and I worked hard with him in the Brexit campaign, so I know him up close and personal. He isn't the answer either. He has a shallow political outlook which depends entirely on the race question, and the race question in Britain can never really go anywhere.
And I just want to play one more clip real quick before we get into this. This is George Galloway once again on Tucker, and he's talking about demoralization on the political left. Let's give this one a watch. And this is what we've been talking about, where they don't have anything to stand on, Yusuf. The left doesn't have anything to stand on anymore. Take a look.
One of my last acts in the last parliament was to go on a parliamentary visit for an audience with the late Pope Francis. And I was the only socialist person that was there. All the other people that were there were not just conservatives, but they were, well, pretty far out conservatives for the most part. And it got me thinking that such is the parlous state of demoralization of my side of the political argument, that there is nobody I could think of on the left in Britain that would have joined me for that audience with the Pope, despite all of the very fine things that Pope in particular represented. They would not have been seen, if you'll forgive the pun, dead with the Pope. And when I, as I do every hour, retweet the right to life propaganda about the suicide bill, about the disastrous abortion rates, and so on, I realize that the traction I have is largely amongst people who would describe themselves as conservative or right-wing. But there's one saving grace, and it's one of the reasons why I'm still an electable politician. Practically the only people in Britain who, as a bloc, can be counted on these moral questions are the Black and other ethnic minority populations. I mean, people rubbish the Muslims, for example, routinely in Britain. But the only people you could reliably say who will be pro-family, who will be pro-marriage, who will be anti-abortion, who will be anti-state suicide, very community.
It's interesting what he said there, Yusuf. What do you think of that? He touched on a lot of subjects.
He's right. Like, they are pushing in the UK. Well, like in Canada, they have legalized suicide. You go into a fucking pod, they put chemicals in you, you're already dead. Like, people don't understand. Like, the left is evil. They want to take away your kids. They
But
want
it's
to make your
interesting
wives.
what he was talking about there. What do you think about what he was talking about, like there?
Yeah, he's speaking the truth. He's like, these people don't believe in any religion. Like, people don't
In
understand.
the UK.
In the UK, Christianity is like 40. It's like down 40%. People are saying it's close to 30%. Like, there's no religion anymore. And like in the UK, it's all secularism. Like how, you know how France is, where they have no religion almost. Only Muslims are the ones who are praying, and other like Orthodox Christians. And France has cracked down mostly on Muslims because they see them as like, you know, pro-family, pro, like, you know, life. None of this faggot lifestyle. And France has a fucking faggot foreign minister. And fucking Emmanuel Macron is a fucking enemy of the free people.
He's an enemy of everybody. No one likes Macron. No one likes his wife either. Or his husband,
like
as people say.
10%. Like, and Candace is gonna win that lawsuit anyways. But at the end of the day,
bro, we gotta hope that she wins. Otherwise, Macron is gonna, you know, marry a man.
I know. He's already married.
Yeah. But yeah, he was talking about the ethnic minority groups and the fact that they're the only countable people. What do you think of that?
Yeah, he's right. He is right, like, because we have our own
But he's a
religions.
socialist. But his positions are conservative. Like what?
But he told you, if you know George Galloway, he's like, yeah, I'm a socialist, but like I'm a socialist with like conservative. He's a socialist for economic,
Hmm.
but in a in a societal setting, he's conservative. He's always said this for years. Like the man is almost 70 years old. He's been preaching this for a long time. He's been in government for the last 45 years, and he's the only one who's been preaching the truth. He has the biggest talk show in the UK, independent talk show, and they always take out like people like George Galloway who are good, honest people.
Yeah.
You got fucking secular Muslims like
How did he get
Zoroaster.
exiled, by the way? Just a quick question.
It's just smearing. They were smearing him, calling him like a Jew hater.
When
all
did this
stuff.
happen?
Early 2002, like when the Iraq War was like drumming on the street. They were pushing that war.
He rebelled
And he
against
was
that.
he was rebelling. He went to Saddam Hussein to go visit him and to actually tell him like do this, do that. Let's speak to each other. And he was the one fighting back against this. He was fighting back against fucking Israel, just like killing Lebanon, destroying Gaza, West Bank, destroying the Middle East on fire. People don't understand.
Israel,
Like,
7 wars. Yeah, 7 wars in
yeah,
5 years.
there's a famous clip of George Galloway on Sky News, like early 2005 and 6, talking about how like the Israelis thinking that they can just go and attack other nations, thinking that nobody's gonna come and fight back. Get the fuck out of here. People don't understand. Like you cannot just cause chaos in the world and thinking you can do this.
Yeah. He was way ahead of his time.
He was, and he's an old man now, and he's been through hell. Like he had like some Israeli supporter attack him in the UK, and he had his like skull fractured, and he had to go for surgery. And people don't understand, like he's been fighting the good fight for the last like 70 years,
He's one of the good ones.
and he's one of the best ones, like one of the most independent thinkers, and people who see what's gonna happen in the future. He's a very intelligent man, very skilled, speaker and orator, and he's well respected in the Muslim community because he's the one who's always been, fighting back against these demons. And there's always going to be traitors within any Muslim, Christian, anyone like siding with these liberal freaks, these secular fucking retards. Another one is fucking Zora Sultana. Fucking, I'll send you a clip where she's
Oh
literally
my
telling-
God. Yeah. Don't even get into that. We'll get into that later. But
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah. Your
That
name
one will
is,
be for a
your
different
name is Zara
podcast.
Sultana, but you're still not
Yeah.
abiding by
Yeah.
what you were. But anyways, I wanted to say this before we wrap up. It's been a good conversation. We talked about a bunch of topics, and it's always important to do this because I'm an Australian and you're a Canadian. There's no free speech. There's no free speech in either one of our countries, so we kind of just have to sit home and do it. But I'm glad to be doing it. I'd do it again anytime soon. But yeah, Yusuf, thanks for coming on. It's been a good conversation. We talked about a lot of things. Would you like to summarize to the audience before we wrap up, like some of all the subjects that we talked?
I would say to the audience, like, have an open mind, do research, and, look at who's controlling you and who is also restricting speech, because that's what we talked about in today's episode. You have to know the power players and the people that we discussed who are the ones who are your real enemies. Because at the end of the day, politics is like a gladiator sport. They want you to keep fighting on each side, left and right, but there's always a common enemy. Use this, not think with this. Logic over hardship. You have to think with your mind. Emotions will cause you self-destruction. And that's the most important lesson I can give to young people.
Yeah. And it's a good lesson. We'll talk about that more later soon. But yeah, thank you guys for watching our podcast. Thank you, guys. Please like, subscribe, share this with someone who needs to hear this message. I know there's a lot of people. I got a lot of comments in my Charlie Kirk video and saying that I'm gonna share this to my friend or my auntie because they needed to hear this message. So we're doing important work here, guys, and a lot of different people are. Shout out to them. And we'll be doing some future collabs soon. Very excited about that. But yeah, thank you
Yes, sir.
guys for watching, and yeah, see you guys. God bless. Thanks for joining me, Yusuf.
Thank you, sir.
See you.